Alright, we're going to attempt to bring this absolutely destroyed monitor back to life. And I can already see we have two blown fuses here, F100 and F101, so we're going to go ahead and pop those out and replace them. Can't wait to find out what blew them. But for our procedure for checking this monitor out, we're going to be following Andrew B's How to Bring Up a 6100 Vector Monitor Guide. So, I have it printed out. Let's start with step one. We have the game board tested. Done. That was easy. Step two, test all 6 frame transistors. Well, Andrew B has a method with a multimeter. I'm going to use this thing because this is really easy. What we're going to do is pop one of these connections. I was told by the seller that all of these had been replaced. I don't know if that's good or bad, but we're going to pop this in sections of 3 and make sure that all these transistors come up as well transistors. So I'll just plug all these in. Doesn't really matter the order with this little device. And we have a transistor, PNP 562 millivolts. Let's try this one. NPN 586 millivolts. So those two are good. Let's grab this one. Come on, come on, come on, come on. These solid core wires are very difficult to maneuver sometimes. NPN 586, it seems pretty optimal. PNP also seems pretty optimal. Let's put it back. Last one. NPN. PNP. These connectors look very clean too. They may have been replaced as well. Cool. So we're done with step 2. Now we're going to test the low voltage section. So we're going to unplug everything from this except for the deflection board. So unplug that. So unplug this. Unplug these. yoke. All right, now there are 3 other connectors here, white, brown, and black. We'll unplug those as well, leaving the only thing left connected being the degauss coil. Another thing I've made is I've got a handy dandy extension cable, which I'm going to plug in from the Major Havoc cabinet. I'm going to unplug our Major Havoc game board so no signals come out. And I'm going to check where we need to measure power from. I don't even know what this thing is. 2017 Arcade Shop. Looks like it has a VN and V out there, so we're going to measure from those points. Probably going to swap these probes that I have here for versions with actual, probes. Oops. She'll make life a little easier. All right, 1, 2. So we should be measuring about 24 to 28 volts back here. So let's power it on and see what happens. Oh, actually, let's just make sure that's out of the way. Yes. Okay. All right, I unplugged the cabinet. It's always something, right? All right, now the cabinet's plugged back in. Let's try this again. We have green lights. Oops. There's a tripod in my feet's way. All right, let's see, ground. Got 26 volts. It's hard to hit. Negative 26 volts. So that is good. So let's turn it off. Plug in the rest of the deflection system. So that's all three frame transistor connectors, the yoke, the neck, and the 3 wires. So let's go ahead and plug this in. Make sure it actually connects. Plug this in. Basically, we're plugging in everything except the high voltage. One, 2, 3. And that is it for me. Note that this connector right here, if you can see it, does not have a key. So it's easy to plug it in off by 1, which can, as you would imagine, cause all kinds of problems. So you want to be careful to make sure that you don't do that. Okay, so I think we've got all that hooked up. High voltage gauge is disconnected. All right. So if we power it up, we should have nothing blow and we should see lights on, namely the spot killer. I think the spot killer's on. It's a little dim, but it's there. Nothing blue. Spot killer's fading off. Okay. So we're going to use a high voltage probe now. And we're going to actually plug in the high voltage cage and see if anything blows up once again. This is a useful tool to have. Definitely recommend getting one if you don't have one already. We're just going to take our probes out. Oops. Keep dropping tools. It's fine. And we'll plug this in instead. Make sure to clip it to ground, which in this case is the chassis. You want to wedge this thing in underneath the anode cup while it's still off. Make sure it's nice and stable. You don't want this thing falling out or knocking off your anode cup at a random, unforeseen, ungood time. And we're going to adjust the voltage. And that goes through this hole here, which I happen to have an ultra long screwdriver just for something like this. Wish I had a little flashlight or something to see in there. But it is directly down. There we go. Locked and loaded. So we want to adjust this for 19.5. So let's see. That's fine. So we're a little low. 16.89. Let's bring it all the way up. Oop, a little too high. Now, as the monitor warms up, voltage will get a little higher, so I like to put it a tiny bit underneath. That's probably good. And I think we are good. Nothing blew up, so let's connect the game board and see what happens. I hear deflection. I see an image. There it is. Look at that. Oh, I'm so excited to play this. But we should probably really just, you know, make sure it's properly adjusted. It looks like it's off to the side. And that is why God invented test mode. I don't know what button I'm supposed to hit to advance. Is it slam like Tempest? I don't have a slam. Is it this thing back here?